Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella Phenomenon in Rumple's route. I was like confused for a second. Like, uh, um, yeah. So, in Rumple's route, and we're in chapter 4. We just started chapter 4. Can we go back to the title? But we can't anyway. I forget what the title was. Something about a compliment. Something. Anyway. Um, I'm recording this directly after the last part because I was like, I need to get some recording in, but I feel like crap. So I was like, no sooner do I start, I'm like, I'm gonna sneeze, aren't I? No, we're okay for like 2 minutes. Anyway, you waited, but the children didn't come, did they? They promised they'd be back today. We even crossed pinkies. Promises are futile, dearest heart. But I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. People are selfish creatures. They will always put their own well-being before others. No one does anything selflessly. To put your trust in someone is weakness, Spacey. Even those that make promises will only keep them if it benefits them. And you, my sweet, are obviously not beneficial to those children. So they didn't like playing with me? They probably did, but your mother's a bitch. No, they did not. Way to ruin your daughter, you bitch. God. Come here, darling. You do not need those other children. The two of us can play together as we always do. I can always trust you, Mother. Of course, my love. Yeah, I remember the voice I gave the mother either. My head feels foggy. Maybe it was because it took me forever to fall asleep yesterday. And then, to make things worse, I ended up having that dream. Hey. Oh, Mother, you're the only one I can trust. Right? I slowly slide out of my bed and make my way over to my dresser. The little bag is still where I left it last night. I open it up and let the little white chocolate lily fall into my hand. That's really actually fucking adorable. Is he really trying to help me? I remember his face yesterday and his bright smile as he presented this to me. I slowly run my fingers across the delicate white petals. He couldn't have known lilies were my favorite flower. There's no reason to be sentimental about something like this. It's just silly. I'm about to put the flower back in the bag, but I stop, eyeing it once more. Slowly, I bring it to my lips and bite off a small petal. It's actually pretty good. I stuff the little flower back into the bag and make my way downstairs. The Marchand is not busy this early in the morning, but everyone is starting on their chores. At least, I assume as much when I see Anise and then Walt, who is helping her stack things. Then I hear rising voices and realize that not all is calm. I don't remember the voice we gave to Fritz, so when we get to his route, which is going to be after Rumple's, obviously, we're going to just wing it, because I can't remember at all. At least I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. Oh, yay! Now I gotta do the other voice. That's very similar to Rumple's. Ahem. It's gonna be really hard, guys, because they've sort of become the same. Almost. I mean, I don't know. You say you're not pretending when you go around flirting with all the female patrons day in and day out. You cannot seriously mean all the drivel you spout. Karma and Rumple stand on opposite sides of a table, staring each other down. A teacup filled with what looks to be cool tea sits close to Karma, abandoned. Flirting with a lady is not a crime. One day your flirting is going to get you into even more trouble than it already has. I've never had a lady say I mistreated her. Not once. Not that you remember. Oh, I'm sure many could attest to being more than slightly annoyed. You're only jealous that I can speak to ladies without a disguise, aren't you? Yeah, they're both big-ass flirts. Let's face it. Karma slams his hands down on the table, shaking it. The tavern grows quiet. Waltz looks over, his eyebrows furrowed with worry. If you so much as make one more comment about my curse, then stop making comments about how I speak. The two continue to glare at each other. It almost looks as if Karma might circle the table and slap him, but the fight freezes as Jurian strides up to the two men. I'm just gonna get myself right in the middle of this, like, man fight sandwich, because this is just ridiculous. It's too early for the two of you to already be at each other's throats. But he started it. All I did was make a comment. He was the one that picked a fight. There you go again, twisting words. Tyrion stomps on the ground. The two men once again turn to look at her. It's my job to break up unnecessary fights, and I will do it. If you two must continue fighting, go do it somewhere else, like the forest, where you can't disturb anyone. Both men turn away from each other, obviously agitated. Rumple's expression is cloudy as he makes his way over to the bar to begin helping set the tables. Tyrion notices me watching. She waves at me with a tense smile on her face. Sorry you had to wake up to that, Princess. I shrug as I make my way over to Mr. Broom. It's like waking up to two children arguing. Agreed, wholeheartedly. Tyrion sighs before looking at me thoughtfully. Maybe you could have a word with Rumple later. I have no idea how their argument even started, but maybe you could get to the bottom of it. I am not a babysitter. But I'd heard the two of you were partners. Anyway, hopefully this doesn't happen again. Good luck with your work today, Princess. Tyrion walks off, vigilant as always. I notice Garland looking at her from the bar, a slight frown on his face. I start working around the tavern, starting first with the cleaning and then with the stacking. Delora makes snide remarks about my slowness as I work, and I try my best to ignore her while occasionally throwing her insults back at her. It's as if she has nothing better to do. The door to the tavern opens and Parfait steps inside with a bright smile. She looks more energetic than usual. I wonder if this is because of Rumple's medicine suggestions. Later, I manage to catch Rumple when the two of us are both on break. He looks pleased to see me until I mention Karma. Why were the two of you fighting earlier? What a sad day it is that the princess talks about another man to my face. Just answer me. I was getting ready for the events of today, as always, speaking to the lovely women who filter in and out of this place. When the beast appeared behind me. Ha, Beauty and the Beast, right? Even his insults are dramatic. Your flirting is distracting me, he proclaimed. Well, your flirting is annoying. But all I'm doing is complimenting women. I'm not impeding anyone's work. Karma is just probably jealous that he can't flirt with women because he's wearing a lady costume and no one can, he can't, no one will love him because, oh my god, his route was so good. Anyway, I'm sorry, I know. I love you, Rumble, but I still think Karma's my number one favorite. I really do. I don't know. I know we've only got through two paths, but he's probably gonna just love him. Anyway. I thought that the only reason he was calling me out on such a thing was because he was actually jealous. You should have seen his scowl. And here we go. So I politely told him to mind his business, but he was relentless, and when he continued to insult my demeanor, well, I had to say something back, but I wasn't the one to start the fight. I swear, they both really do sound like children. No doubt Karma would be blaming Rumple. Princess, you really don't think I'm so confrontational, do you? I think Karma is far more confrontational than Rumple, but it doesn't help that Rumple always snaps back at him. The two of you are both at fault. But Princess, in the end, you were still having a childish argument. I think that Rumple might try to protest again, and surprised when he shrugs his shoulders and sighs. Yes, it was childish, because that man is a child. I roll my eyes. Ah, your irritated scowl chills my heart, Princess. I feel a tinge of excitement. I'm leaving now. There's really no point in having this conversation. It's a problem between Karma and Rumple. They aren't children. They can figure this out on their own. Oh, Princess. Oh, Princess of my heart. Why must you depart so early? I ignore Rumple and leave him standing where he is as I return to my shift a little early. Honestly, I would much rather focus on work than Rumple. He can be just as tiring, if not more. Though, after what happened last night, I don't think he's as terrible as I thought. The days go on, and Rumple and I speak only briefly during our breaks. Every day I eat another piece of the lily until only one is remaining. One afternoon, just before my break, Rumple approaches me with a mischievous smile on his face. Uh-oh. My lovely princess, how are you today? What do you want? Your cold shoulder is enticing. I have one more table to serve. Don't bother me. But princess, I've decided I know exactly how to teach you to be good. All of your other lessons have been useless so far. I mean, kinda. Please just trust me. To put my trust in someone is weakness. I'm going to teach you how to flirt. What? The first step to flirting is eye contact, princess. Wait, but why are you... Rumple points at my customer, a young man sitting right beside the window. The second is smile. Smile, princess, because I'm sure you look even more stunning when you do. Then you start a conversation with him. He's becoming a little more like flamboyantly Rumple. I can't help it. They both have very similar, like, flirty, fantastic personalities, so. Body language is important. There are certain signals that key men into the fact that a woman is interested in them. I think playing with your hair is one. A gentle tap on the shoulder is another. I should have expected Rumple to spout this sort of nonsense. Princess? The customer's been waiting for a while now. Is something wrong? I notice the customer looking at me expectantly. He's just some man, a usual customer that I actually see often. Oh, and princess, don't forget the compliments. Make them as delicate and illustrative as you can. I move away from Rumple before he can muddle my thoughts any further. Already my feet feel like lead. I find myself staring at the man for far too long. The way he stares back at me, his expression so unreadable, suddenly makes me feel more uncomfortable. Do I really have to do what Rumple says? I stop in front of the man and set down his tray, my eyes still on his. I do not have to follow Rumple's advice, but for some reason my lips quirk. The smile on my lips, though, lasts about all of half a second. Are you okay? We're supposed to attempt to flirt. I can feel Rumple smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think it was some kind of prank. But considering this is the way Rumple acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. I try to recall how he flirted with his customers before. I couldn't help but notice you were alone, sir. I'm always alone. My heart is thumping far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumple usually say? Madam, you are the most beautiful thief I have ever met, for it is you who has stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. Oh God, please don't say that. Please don't fucking say that. Please don't say that. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. Yeah, he likes cold women. All he does is spout complimentary gibberish. I'll try and do the same. How is it that you would always be alone when you have such lovely eyes? I'm reading it awkwardly on purpose, thank you. The customer stares at me, baffled. I force myself to continue. Your eyes remind me of the leaves in fall as they flutter beneath the bright gaze of the sun, and... I stop. The word's nothing more than a shallow lie, making me feel strangely hollow. The man is just staring at me, but he looks uncomfortable. Still, I don't think he's anywhere near as uncomfortable as I am. Ma'am? Perhaps you would... My voice trails off. I bite my lips so hard I can taste something metallic. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. My whole face is hot and I can feel anger boiling deep down inside of me. That's great. Ah, princess. Leave me alone. But princess, we're not done. I do not care. I ignore everyone's gazes and I make my way quickly as I possibly can up the stairs into my room. So embarrassing, but amazing. There, I collapse on my bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I have ever thought of taking Rumple's advice? Hours go by, and eventually I realize that it's time to help Anise with the night chores. Now I'm helping her restock some of the bottles that Waltz and Karma brought back from town. I hope Anise doesn't mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at a table. Karma passes by me as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. I make my way over to Anise, who's already putting bottles on the shelves. "Oh, Princess, are you okay now?" "I'm fine. Now, what did you need me to do?" "Hold it." I barely made that. God. Oh, God sneezes. Anise explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots are where the new bottles go. It's not a hard job, and one I could easily do without thinking too hard. For a while, the only sounds that could be heard in the Marchand are the bottles clinking against each other. Underneath that is the murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they're talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. So, Princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace?" Right. She can't remember working in the palace before. "I don't mean to pry. I was just trying to make conversation." I would rather not. "Oh, okay." Eventually, Parfait and Dolores stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Anise breaks the silence again. "The tavern is nice when it's quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open a window." My hands move stiffly, placing bottles on shelves by label. All I want to do is get the work done and then return to my room. "It was like this at the old place that I used to work. I was hired by a rich family to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the windows on the bottom floor." Seems like her memory has been twisted by my curse, so she can't remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. "It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile." Radiant smile. What's her face? She must be talking about Emmeline. "The head of the mansion is a really kind man, and—" She grows suddenly quiet, a look of confusion coming to her face. She pauses and then shakes her head. "I can't seem to remember everyone that was there, but I'm pretty sure they were all good people. At least, I like to think so. I was just a bad maid." She was. Because of her, Dolores' dress was torn. I I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll." Save her doll? Anise looks down, her smile wistful. "I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's dolls. I was the one cleaning her shelves that day, and when I went in I saw a crow had come in through the open window and was pecking at one of the dolls. I shooed it away, but I was too late. The doll had a little rip in its dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly." So it wasn't Anise who ripped Dolores' dress, but a bird. Is this why Delora insisted Anise deserves an apology? What happened after you were fired? "Lady Parfait found me on the streets. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what happened. She never liked me anyway." Anise's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived. I can never forget the day I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. I told her I would be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. That I can even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged her to take me in, and she did. I owe Lady Parfait a lot." "Why didn't you go back to your father after you were fired?" "My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. My father was an herbalist, and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So before Rumple came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies." "So you have no one?" "That's what I thought. But now I have everyone here. The Marchand is my family now." "Family?" "Princess, we're all happy to have you here too. You really help out around the Marchand, and I can tell Rumple's happy to have you as a partner." The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back into my mind. I can't help the irritation bubbling up inside of me. "I know he's a little overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure Rumple's really trying to help you, just like he's helping Lady Parfait." It's not the same thing at all. The two of us continue working until Anise makes another wistful comment. "The place I worked before this, I felt like there was a warmth in that gigantic home, but it was stifled." That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without meaning to. Anise looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when Mother died, but it was never enough. Before that he was cold and distant, and even now he favors his new wife and children over me. There were people, but they all wore fake smiles. And my father, he was the worst of all. I may well have never existed to him. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? You're talking about the palace, right? The king always seems so nice. He put his kingdom before his children, or his child. Anise fidgets nervously. I'm sorry. Apologies aren't going to change the past. Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. I think about Anise who tried to save my doll, the way I fired her that day. Rumple told me once that all I had to do was listen to people to sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? All I can do is make up for what I did to her as we are supposed to apologize, which I would have done anyway. I am sorry. Anise looks at me, clearly shocked. She stares for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude. Oh, I was just... Why are you apologizing to me, Princess? It's for something I did that you wouldn't remember. That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. I promise I won't hold it against you. It's not important. Anise's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile isn't as bright as it once was. I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. I'm done. Anise turns to look at me with an unusually tired expression on her face. Thank you for listening to me, Princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself, too. I feel like I might have said too much. I don't respond to Anise, but instead choose to head out the front door. Anise asks where I'm going, but I just ignored her. I think about heading to town, but then reconsider. I decide to head to the forest instead. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here, I don't have to pretend to listen to anyone, and I don't have to talk about myself. I settle down on a rock and stare up at the sky. I apologize, but Anise didn't even understand my apology. And even now, I still can't bring myself to trust those at the Marchen. I sigh and find myself speaking aloud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. Ah, but have you seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from ice, Princess? She's like, damn it. I turn to see Rumple walking towards me, a broad grin on his face. Ice always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly where it's been sculpted. I stare at Rumple blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry. That one was particularly bad, wasn't it? He sits down beside me and his grin falters a little bit. I like the CGs. It's just so funny because he looks like 3 times bigger than her. Like her he looks like he's drawn like a half scale bigger. Shrunk down a little. I know obviously he's like taller than her and everything, but it's like his head looks 4 times. It just looks like weird. Anyway. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet princess, but I will offer anything else you would need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. I can offer anything. My words, my body. Oh dear God, Rumple. I cut Rumple off as I'm not in the mood for his usual behavior. Are you always like this? All you ever do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery you constantly give to people. It's shallow. You're right. What? I stare at him. Rumple is still smiling, but it's not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before, in that making a person happy is a good deed. Yeah, I know what Rumple wants to make him happy, but I don't really think you should do that because I don't think it's going to count as a good deed. He might think it's a good deed, but Dolores going to be like, honey, you got conned into putting out. That's just... He was offering his body. I mean, I'm just saying. Look, I'll show you. Rumple shifts so that he's looking right at me, and I notice that his smile is gone. Spacey, of all the women I've met, you're the most straightforward and honest. Many do not have the courage or the confidence to exhibit those qualities. And that's why I admire you, and why I'll always take your words to heart, because I know you'll always speak the truth. I look into Rumple's eyes, which still have a gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments, his words float around in my head. No one has ever called my bluntness honesty before, and no one has ever complimented me for it. Rumple told me before that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees the things I do in a more positive light? My, you're struck speechless by that, aren't you? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. I glare at him and Rumple just laughs in response. I put a hand on my cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Rumple smiles at me, but it's not the usual playful smile. Right now, he almost looks serious. Did he mean what he just said? We're supposed to tell him off because that's what he likes. Why do you have to be so dramatic when you gave me that compliment? I was dramatic. I cross my arms and Rumple grins at me. I can't help it, princess. I am dramatic by nature. A compliment is, in some ways, a performance. So you didn't mean what you just said? No, I did. I swear I did. I was trying to show you how making a person happy could be a good deed. Complimenting a person on appearances is easier than complimenting them on their demeanor. You have to know a person for that. I meant what I said, princess. And I swear that wasn't just me trying to weave spectacular words together. Earlier, I bet you made Anise happy, too. You were spying on our conversation? I would never. I just happened to be making my way down the stairs very slowly. You were eavesdropping? I would never. I was just walking extremely slow, one step every 5 minutes. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listened far more than you do. Princess, you've shattered my heart so many times there are permanent cracks. But do not worry. The cracks in my heart allow even more of you to make your way into it. Like the look, he's like, and her look is like, the actual fuck, dude. I like Rumple. Rumple awkwardly laughs when I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening, princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them, that is one of those ways. Then there's the kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without ever letting the words into their heart. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they would say whatever benefited them. It's foolish to trust words. What if Anise had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because more often than not, people are good, princess. I let out an exasperated sigh. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumple. Ah, what a beautiful sound! It was as if the sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable, too, and you have such delicate lips. Right. I am still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie. How can you say something genuine and then slide right back into this pitiful flattery? 'Cause he's fucking Rumple. For a moment, silence falls, and I find, to my surprise, that it's not awkward being alone with Rumple. Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I'll never try to get you to flirt with anyone ever again. Besides, if you flirted with another man and then grew fond of him, I would be devastated. That would never happen. You didn't let me finish! I was going to say that I would be devastated because that would mean that your heart belongs to someone else, and my heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. That will also never happen. Yes, it will! If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once, because I'm sure you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. And he'll have already stolen your heart by then. You are unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the woman that he so adores. Then you must be in love with many women. I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But, Princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy to chastise him right now, but at least I no longer have that anger inside from earlier. It's been a long day, and I'm going to bed. Would you like company? I'm going to bed. Do you want company? God damn it. Yes. I mean, this is what we're always looking for in games. Yes. You're not playing hard to get. You're not getting cock blocked by this game. Like, literally, he's like, I'm pretty sure Karma was willing to, if you were like, so I'm going to need you to come upstairs, he'd already be up there waiting for you. I like it. Rod played hard to get, but understandable. He hated us. These two were man whores. But I love him. I love our man whores. I didn't mean. Yes, he did. Good night, Rumple. Good night, Princess Spacey. I make my way back to the tavern, feeling surprisingly light. He meant company like you. I'm going to bed. Do you need company? I just meant walking you back to the Merchant. Holy shit, that came out wrong. He's like, although, I mean, he would take you up on the other one too, I'm sure. He was offering his body like 5 minutes ago. Still, even if Rumple's words might make me happier than I care to admit, he's not doing a very good job of helping me with my curse. I might have to do this all on my own after all. No, we apologize to Anise for getting a piece. The Doctor. Oh my god, the Doctor! Oh, I can't wait to see the TARDIS! Where is it hiding? Right here. I just want to paint this blue. It's not a door, it's the TARDIS now. What a brilliant day. That was so not his voice, but I just wanted to read it that way. The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess here to accompany me. I can't help but groan at Rumple's optimism. Because we were both sent out to run errands. Because everyone thinks we make a wonderful couple. No, because we're partners. Partners, a couple, it may as well be the same thing. Half of the time, Rumple says some deep things, but then he says things like that. It's like he has two personalities. No, it's not the same thing at all. I take out the list and scour it for the things we need to buy. More than half of it's already crossed out. I glance at the bags Rumple is carrying. He refuses to let me carry any of them, insisting that it would be impolite to force the load on me. This is like a breath of fresh air compared to fucking Karma, who's like, you can carry all of them, honey. A lady shouldn't carry bags. And you're like, you're a dude in a dress. Might I remind you, I am a lady. How dare you? That leaves me with list duty. This is a lot more laid back than what I have to do with the Marchen. Okay, now we have the general medicine restock for Anise. My area of expertise. Never fear, my sweet princess. I will find everything we need. We already have a list. But Rumple just hums enthusiastically as we continue on our way, and I'm not entirely sure if he heard me or not. We arrive at a little medicine shop in the central plaza. A man exits through the front door, coughing so loudly people turn their heads to stare at him. And Rumple backs away real fast. Whoa, bitch. I wait for the man to pass so that I can open the door to the store, but then I notice that Rumple hasn't budged beside me at all. His eyes do a quick scan of the man before he slowly begins to walk toward him. Sir, are you sick? Eh? What's it to you? Even if I was sick, lad, there's nothing I can do if I don't have any money. Besides, it's not like this will kill me. It's just a cough. How long have you had your cough, sir? It seems like such a minor thing, but Rumple suddenly looks so serious about it. He looks at the man with his eyes slightly narrowed, as if trying to see past him. Been, it's been with me for more than 3 days. Coughs are pesky things, aren't they? They're usually the last thing to go, but at least they're not deadly most of the time. Even if you can't buy the medicine, sir, there are other at-home remedies that might help with your cough. Boy, I've already tried warm tea. My wife's given me enough of that. Water is good for your throat, too, sir. Any kind of steam works, too. If the cough is riddled with mucus, it'll be easier to expel with steam. Okay, let's not... When you can't afford the medicine, sometimes the simplest things will help, and coughs stay for a while, so don't fret if you can't get rid of yours immediately. Well, I appreciate the advice. Not exactly what a doctor would tell me, but it'll have to do. The man thanks Rumple before walking off. I notice Rumple looking down at the ground, a rather forlorn expression on his face. Is what he said true? About what, Princess? About doctors not giving advice about at-home remedies. Most of the doctors don't believe in such things. They always think that medicines work better than at home or herbal remedies. The medicines do help, but sometimes they aren't necessary. Yet you just gave him advice. Not everyone can afford medicine. Being a doctor means helping people, not taking advantage of their sickness to steal their money. Oh my god. He's a poor doctor, but he's a noble one. Money was never a problem at the palace. Whenever I was sick, the palace staff made sure I had the best and most effective medicines. Do you remember what you were like as a doctor? I I wanted to help everyone that showed up at my doorstep. Sometimes I couldn't, and it frustrated me. I prescribed medicines when necessary, gave advice other times, and when things were dire, I performed small operations. He does seem a lot more serious when he's talking about health. Rumple was silent for a few moments before his eyes light up once again. Anyway, shall we go stock up on our medicine? Oh, whoops. I thought you said medicine wasn't always helpful. Because it's not. But I also know that Anise uses mostly herbs, and that she tries to handle things without too much medication. She's quite capable. We enter the shop, and in no time at all, Rumple spots the items on our list. We use the rest of our money to buy the medicines and remedies that we need, and then we begin to head back to the tavern. On the way there, Rumple strikes up a conversation again. So, Princess, have you given any thoughts to what I said before? About what? You've already forgotten? About making people happy. What? You know, you can make me happy right here and now by giving me a kiss on the cheek. That's not what you want, but I stare blankly at him before walking away. No, thank you. And alas, my hopes are dashed again. When we're at the outskirts of town, I pause and turn around. It's as if I can feel eyes on my back, but I don't see anyone openly staring at me. Is someone watching me? Suddenly, I feel warmth in my hand, then fingers interlace through mine. Rumple pulls me a little closer, his expression oddly gentle. Don't worry, my sweet princess. You're safe with me. Suddenly, his face is a lot closer to mine, and I can see his features more closely. It's like the night in the forest, except his face is not marred by the same shadows. There's caution in his eyes, but it's not directed at me. Did you see someone following you? No, I just thought I felt someone looking at me. Better to stay together then. We begin walking again. The two of us begin to head back to the Marchen. Rumple has all the bags in one hand now. He hums a little bit as we walk. It's remarkably peaceful, so much so that I don't even mind him holding my hand. Cute. It suddenly feels a lot safer. I'm so lost in reverie that I don't even notice when we turn and go in the opposite direction. This is not the way back to the Marchen. On the contrary, it's just a more scenic path. Don't you like the forest, princess? This would sound shady if it was anybody else. I'd be like, run away, but it's Rumple. I trust him. Maybe I shouldn't. The shafts of light coming in through the canopies, the soft blades of grass that tickle your ankles. It's such a romantic place. Look at him blush. No matter what he says, this does not lead back to the Marchen. It's not a scenic path or a path at all. I'm supposed to stop walking. I instantly root myself in place, and even though Rumple is far taller than me and far stronger, he stops after noticing that I'm no longer walking. Oh, princess, do you want to stop and admire the scenery? Why are you taking me through here? I don't care about scenery, and I don't care about walking anywhere with you. Lies. You like it. Ah, princess, your honesty really is a treasure. One day I'll make it so you enjoy going places with me, not just holding my hand. I quickly slide my hand out of his, my face feeling somewhat hot. Ah, there's the sweet rosiness to your cheeks. You never answered my question. It's a detour. We were only going to be in here for a few minutes. If you thought you saw someone's eyes on you, it's better to divert their attention away from a Marchen. And before you say it's dangerous, yes, it is. But we're still not far enough away from town to worry about safety. And I believe I can protect you. Won't you compliment my cleverness, sweet princess? He takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. As he doesn't but he doesn't lace his fingers through mine. Instead, he takes my hand in his and then pulls it up to his face. Before I realize it, my hand is on his cheek, his hand cupping my own. I was going to say, I need a CG for this. Oh my god! This happens a lot in games too, doesn't it? Where your hand is on their face. They're doing this. They're like holding your hand to their face and looking at you like that. I think we need to do like shots every time a CG like this comes up because not like a beautiful one, the hand on face. Holding hand to face. Look at it. Oh, look at this pretty purple eyes. They're like pretty dark, like plum colored. Princess, you can trust me. Always, I mean. I can sense that sometimes you trust me, sometimes you don't. But you don't need to be so cautious around me. I shower you with compliments because I believe you deserve them. I tell you that I enjoy being around you because I do. I should be focusing on his words, but all I can look at are his eyes. I know, right? What do I need to do for you to fully trust me? Mother told me that people lie. So how can I trust that everything he says is the truth? Perhaps if I stopped throwing compliments at you, you wouldn't be you without all of the compliments. What am I saying? I always complain about his compliments, but the thought of a Rumple without compliments is strange. So you do enjoy my compliments, sweet princess. No, What? Words have deserted you? I understand. Being so close to me would have that effect on any woman. I really expect this more from Karma, like I'm a fabulous, gorgeous prince, and he's like, I'm a doctor, but like, oh, you love me. It's just so funny. It's so weird. Oh. Something bright and angry flares up inside of me. Something that I don't understand. I pull my hand away from him, a scowl on my face. Oh, I missed the CG. Was it my big mouth again, princess? Come on, let's go back to the Marchen. I start walking ahead and Rumple rushes to catch up with me. I clench my fingers and let out a silent sigh. Rumple was being nice to me again, but I always reject his kindness. Because it can't be real. He looks so serious there. Serious, Rumple is serious. Days go by. I consider Rumple's advice, but I refuse to flirt with anyone again. I have no idea how to make anyone happy. Rumple told me that I can't make anyone happy without knowing anything about them and listening to them like I did with Anise. But what reason do I have to listen to people? This is so frustrating. Days later, Rumple and I sit at a table waiting for our work orders. Rumple is on the verge of conversation when we suddenly hear Parfait speaking in the doorway. Rumple picks up on the words before I do and rushes over to the front door. He looked almost nervous. Who's at the front door? I excuse myself briefly, telling Anise that I'll be back. I make my way over to the front door, and there I see 3 people in conversation. There's Rumple and Parfait and a very pale man. The pale man looks like death itself, like he might just keel over. I can help him. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I only clicked once. Rumple! He needs help. He can stay in my room instead. I can even restock the medicines on my own if need be. So please, let me help him. There's a desperation in Rumple's eyes that I have never seen before. He looks at Parfait pleadingly, all the while holding the man by the shoulder to steady him. What is happening? Oh, Princess, the man heard about Rumple through one of the men at the tavern. He's sick and doesn't have a lot of money to pay for treatment. He came here seeking Rumple. He must have been able to find this place because he was cursed. Does he even have the money to pay? Well, here's the thing. I didn't think I thought other people could find the thing, but maybe, I don't know. But, that's a lot of fucking cursed people. Rumple turns to me with a frown on his face. I've never seen him look at me so sternly. She's like, oh, I kind of like it. Princess, you remember what I told you before. He was insistent that a doctor's #1 priority was to help their patient, regardless of their monetary situation. Take him to your room then, Rumple. I'll have Anise assist you if she's willing. No, Anise does not need to worry herself. I think she'd want to help you. The two cut their discussion short when the man starts coughing. A, a terrible hacking cough that paralyzes him. Rumple steadies him, and then he begins to slowly move him towards his room. Don't worry, Princess. He'll be fine. What? I can see the worry on your face. Rumple will be fine. Why would I worry about Rumple? Because it's not like you to worry about someone you don't know at all. He looked so alarmed. I've never seen Rumple look like that before. It's not like him. Rumple knows what he's doing. I'll have someone else assist you with serving today, so no worries. Parfait comes through on a promise. When I go back to the bar, both Anise and Rumple are gone. Karma, or Miss Karma, is there instead, looking disgruntled. Waltz would be better at this. Why do I have to help? I know he's slightly more feminine voice right now. Because Waltz is busy doing his puppet shows, and Rumple is helping a sick man. Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to do about this then, other than enjoy it. He flips his hair and smiles brightly. I will attract all of the customers today. Perhaps we should have a competition, Princess. Compete with yourself. I'm really not in the mood for Karma right now. I know, I love the Karma Rumple. I love both of them because they're both like the dramatic, flirty ones, and she's like, oh my god, you suck. And she falls in love with them. It's great. Then I shall definitely compete with myself, because challenging yourself is important. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. Karma chameleon. Oh god, Karma. Anyway. Karma picks up waiting tables fairly easily. I notice that he speaks very fondly to the girls, but they're not as receptive as they are with Rumple. Many times they ask Karma where Rumple is, and he seems agitated when he tells them that Rumple is busy. They seem just as irritated. Once my break starts, I meet Karma at the bar. He looks depressed. I guess if you and Rumple competed to woo girls, he would win. Darling, if I were to shed my disguise right here and now, I would be the clear victor. Since without this disguise, women would flock to me. It is rather uncomfortable to have every woman in Angeal fall in love with you. You look like you're judging me, Princess. Because I am. If only you understood my plight. Karma and Rumple may speak similarly, but they're still so different. Karma's the type to complain. Rumple never complains. What you doing, booger? What are you doing? Why are you on the nice blanket? What you doing over there? You're just not where you're supposed to be. You're so weird. He's overworking himself for someone else, just like he went out of his way to apologize to me many times. My heart sinks a little bit as I think of him and Anise helping out the sick man. Rumple didn't even want Anise going up there, so he probably wouldn't want me up there either. I could try to go visit him, or I could go back to my room. We're supposed to go to Rumple's room. I think I'll go check on him. Check on Rumple? I hadn't realized I was speaking aloud. I look at Karma, who furrows his eyebrows at me slightly. I honestly don't know how you could stand him as a partner. Sorry, I was moving my mouse. Why do you dislike Rumple so much? Because he reminds me of me, and he has girls falling all over him, and nobody will ever love me. Oh, but we do still love you, Karma. A lot of things, Princess. But that fight is between us and doesn't involve you. Then don't involve me. You have no need to comment on us being partners. Karma looks at me wide-eyed and a little shocked. Then a sort of knowing comes into his eyes, and he smiles, just a little bit. Yes, I think you should go visit him. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get him off your mind, would you? Shut up, Karma. He laughs a little before picking up his tray and rushing off to continue his shift. I slowly make my way upstairs, my feet feeling heavy. For some reason, I feel like Karma was right. I make my way over to what I think is Rumple's door. The door is slightly ajar, and I hear hushed voices on the other side. Those voices definitely belong to Anise and Rumple. I slowly push the door open and quietly step inside. Rumple and Anise are standing over the man who's covered in blankets and coughing. A series of bottles sit on the table close by. None of the herbal remedies are working. We need a medicine for this. I'm sorry, I don't have any more money to offer, Rumple. Anise, please don't sound so sad. You've already tried helping as much as you possibly can. It's it's my fault for promising to buy medicine that we needed. I glance at the table where a list is sitting. Beautiful cursive handwriting details everything that the patient needs. Everything is circled except for some medicine at the very bottom that has a star next to it. Is that Rumple's handwriting? Suddenly the two of them turn. They both look shocked to see me. Princess, what are you doing here? I came to see how you were doing. Princess, I'm fine, but... He glances down at the man on the bed. Anise sighs out a little bit. We've given him what we can, but the one medicine that we need is something we can't afford. Even with the money I'm getting from Lady Parfait, it isn't enough. Give him our money. We're going to give him our money and do something nice. I walk into the room and glance at the list. I look over at the total for the medicine, then at the coins on the table that I hadn't noticed before. Did Rumple use all of his money for this stranger? What will happen if you don't get this medicine? Without this, the infection will spread and he could... He goes silent as the man starts coughing again. I can read the answer in his eyes, even if he won't say it. The man could be in terrible danger. He could even die. Rumple looks defeated. He doesn't look like himself at all. I glance at the coins again, then at the list. Without a second thought, I grab both the list and the coins. Princess, what are you... I'll be back. I leave the room, even with Anise and Rumple protesting behind me. I make my way to my room where I pick up the bag of coins that the king gave me when I went to the palace on the day I was cursed. Then I head for the door. I immediately head for the medicine store that we always frequent. I count out the coins that I need to buy the medicine. This will take all of my money, but it wasn't as if I was going to use it for something else. I rush back to the Marchand with the medicine in a little bag, hoping that this is the one that Rumple needs. It's dark by the time I get back to the Marchand. I make my way to Rumple's room again and notice that he's sitting on the stool beside the patient's bed, looking at him forlornly. When I enter the room, his eyes go wide. He seems even more surprised than when I hand him the bag. Princess, is this... He opens the bag and lets the little vial roll into his hand. Man, I think you're paying for the bottle. How did you buy this? I combined your total with the money I had left. Rumple just stares at me, clearly flabbergasted. Then his expression morphs into something softer, something more relieved. He steps forward and suddenly his arms are around me. He grips me tightly and then I hear his voice in my ear. Thank you so much, Princess Spacey. My heartbeat picks up slightly. It's so loud I think Rumple might hear it, but when he pulls away he doesn't say anything. I'll have to thank you for this later, Princess. But for now, you should leave. I don't want you to get sick. I'm too dazed to disagree. I nod my head quietly before moving stiffly toward the door. I glance back at Rumple one last time, noticing that he's checking the man's temperature. The moment I leave the room, a flash of light emanates from my chest. There's nice. I absently touch the glass slipper at my neck and then pause as I stare down at it. I feel a soft gasp leave my lips when I notice the fragment of a second slipper. Yay! I got my first good deed. I bought the medicine for Rumple, but I only had it in a few more coins to buy it. So what I did today was considered a good deed? I'm confused, but at the same time I'm pleased that I actually managed to get a good deed. Now I only need 2 more. The next day I go down to the tavern area to begin my work, but I'm there a little early. Waltz is working on his puppets at a table, eyebrows furrowed in concentration. When I walk in, he looks up at me and smiles. Then he raises his eyebrows. It's Waltz. Princess, congratulations. You got your first good deed. I know he's like 12, but he's like a man in a 12-year-old body. Like, expect him to have like a man voice. I did. I knew you could do it. He's the last path we're going down because he's supposed to be the last one, I think. I nod in response. His praise makes me feel oddly proud. I continue my usual work, keeping an eye out for Rumple as I work my shift. But he never appears. Yay! A few days go by. And it's only after the man leaves, looking a lot healthier and stable than he was before, that I finally see Rumple. He and the man speak at the front door to the tavern. No, really, sir. I couldn't take anything from you. Nonsense. You saved my life. I need to pay you back somehow. Just remember my goddamn name. The man is holding money out to Rumple, but Rumple just shakes his head. I notice that there are dark circles under his eyes and that he looks tired. I didn't help you for the money. But I insist. That money could be spent on better things, like your family. You may not take my money, but I promise I will pay you back. Your health is all the reward I need. I promise. I can't thank you enough. Here's the funny thing. He's going to pay Rumple money, but it's like, could you have, maybe the medicine was too expensive? But you know what I mean? It's like, I didn't have the $100 to get the medicine, but here's $100 for helping me. But, I mean, he might not have known what medicine he needed, and he was probably too sick, but you know what I mean? Like, or again, he might not have had enough. Like, I don't have enough money for the medicine. I need to come here because I can't afford going to an actual doctor and getting the medicine. But he might have, if he knew what medicine he needed, he might have been able to afford that. Who knows? It's the like, well, you got to pay $7,000 to the doctor to be like, it's cold. Just go home and sleep. Fuck you. Fuck. I can't thank you enough. After the man leaves, I approach Rumple. He turns to me and leans against the door. His smile still tired but bright. Ah, princess. Come to heal my weary body, perhaps. I would so love another hug. My face becomes hot at the memory of Rumple's hug from the other day. Ah, the natural rouge of your cheeks is so sweet, princess. It makes me feel infinitely better. And your necklace seems different. I reach up to touch the pendant. Every time I get a good deed, a piece gets added to my necklace. Oh, right. You helped with the medicine the other day. Of course that was a good deed, princess. It was very selfless of you. Thank you again for that. The man tried to thank you too, but you refused his money. Why? And why did you spend your money on him? When he had the money, he clearly had the money to pay for them. No, I'm just kidding. Because life is invaluable, princess. No amount of money could ever be more important than a person's life. Even if it's someone you don't know? Yes, because everyone has a life, princess. They have loved ones, families, sweethearts. And if I can help them, I will. And I will gladly spend any amount of money to do so. Okay, fine. But why did you not accept any money from that man? Because no amount of money. You needed that money. How are you going to buy more medicines without any money? Rumple's eyes widen. He was clearly not expecting me to ask that question. But he said before he didn't have much money, and it was true. I can't take money from him when he doesn't have much of it to begin with. He was thanking you with money. You should have accepted it. Parfait pays you, does she not? Rumple's shoulders sag when he sighs. Yes, even though I won't accept the money from her face to face, she has to sneak it into my wallet. If she does that, why not just accept it from her? I'm trying to make a statement, princess. And this is why you're going to be living in a box. I'm just kidding. In this case, I kind of understand. Like, the man doesn't have a lot of money. He couldn't afford the medicine. Look, we got the money. It's fine. Just pay it forward kind of a thing. Like, every once in a while, you got to do something nice. But you can't just work for free, unfortunately, because you have to pay bills and you have to, like, I mean, technically, here, you're working for your room and board. So you're getting spare pocket change. So I can see him being like, look, you let me live here. You're giving me food. You don't need to pay me. I can kind of understand his point on that. But like if it was like, well, then you have to pay for your room and your board and all your stuff, and you have to work here for money that I'm going to give you, but now you're not taking the money, then that would be weird. But you can't not charge for your doctor services ever. You know what I mean? You could still be a decent doctor and like, you know, help people and not like charge them an arm and a leg. But like at some point you got to get paid because you got to eat, buddy. So, but I understand in this case, he was like, no, the guy didn't have a lot of money and it was fine. Like, I'm not going to let him die because he's got $50 and the medicine costs 200. You know what I mean? Like, and Parfait doesn't seem to care because she sneaks the money into your wallet regardless. You have a point there. You're stubborn. We both are. Now I have a question. Why did you use your money on that man? You knew nothing about him. I did it for you, goddammit. I know we're over time, but like, did you do it for him? For yourself? Or, look at the sly smile on his face. For me, perhaps. Rumple grins at me mischievously, even with the tired eye. Mischievously. I can read. I just kind of mumbled that. Even with the tired eyes, I can still see the bright cheer in them. Hit the nail right on the head. Again, you're becoming easier to read, my sweet princess. Well, no matter why you did it, thank you. That medicine was necessary to help that man. I still think you should have accepted the money from him. You helped him and did him a service no one else would. You should have accepted his gratitude. Princess, I told you. I cross my arms and frown at him. You're so stubborn. Rumple's smile falters, and he just looks at me sadly, almost guiltily. For some reason, the sight of him in such a state makes my heart sink. Wipe off that frown. You look better with a smile. Rumple stares at me, shocked. Why is he staring at me like that? You like my smile? What? I did not say I... You like my smile. And you complimented it too, Princess. Oh, complimented it too. Princess, you have no idea how much this means to me. Rumple throws his hands in the air. I resist the urge to roll my eyes at the exaggerated reaction. Oh, she's like, oh my god, but also she loves it. We get compliments all the time from women. Yes, but none as honest as yours. That compliment is valuable because I know you absolutely mean it. So I will keep those words close to my heart because they're precious to me. It wasn't anything like the spectacular compliments he gives, and yet he still looks so happy. You two seem to be getting along. Parfait appears behind us with a smile on her face. Sorry to interrupt, but Spacey, Karma is slowly drowning in table work. Would you help him? Yes, of course. Rumple looks disappointed as I'm sent back to the bar, where Karma expresses immediate relief that I'm back. Rumple retires to his room early that day, and he's given the day off. Both Delora and Parfait can see the tiredness on his face, just like I can. He doesn't reappear for the rest of the day. At the end of my shift, I retire to my room. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Perfect. Okay, anyway. I am going to wrap it up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.